Hello! Making another video. So I just made this video about crystal balls and finding a sacred stone and how to conduct a sacred ceremony. And I was actually going to tell you, after I was talking about the crystal ball and using my third eye, so I'll just start over really quick and just refresh on this whole crystal ball thing. Because yesterday I had quite an interesting a development of awareness on some very interesting topics, so it really contributed to the crystal ball. So yesterday I was at the spirit store, and I explored holding a crystal ball yesterday, which was really exciting for me. And when I held the clear quartz crystal ball and I gazed into it with my third eye, gazed into it, I didn't see anything in the ball itself, but I did feel quite a response in my third eye from opening it and choosing to interact with the crystal, interacting with it. You don't realize that there is a constant reflection going on. So what you see is also bouncing back to you, and then it's a constant interaction with reflection, and the reflection is infinite. So there's never a stopping point between what is continually beaming back and forth as a reflection. So when I take the crystal and I open my third eye and look into it, the crystal looks back, and then there's a constant interaction that is being taken place. And yesterday I wasn't quite sure. I noticed that something strange happened in the interaction, that my humanness had absolutely no awareness of it, although I sensed something was going on. And I thought it was going to be, I was curious to see how the day was going to unravel, because I did feel like something happened when I looked into the crystal ball. Although I didn't see anything, I felt something happening. Anyways, the day went on. Several interesting things happened in my awareness about what are evil spirits. Isn't that funny? This beautiful, awesome, heightened crystal ball loving, unconditionally loving experience sort of opened me up to extremely new awareness on lower level vibrational energies. It's fascinating. This is fascinating stuff, you know. So I have a whole life full of experiences dealing with not the nicest spirits in the universe, you know, trying to torment me, trying to break me, that sort of thing. And I find that when you are facing with a lesser spirit, it's so where do I begin to talk about this? I mean, I could just tell you what I saw yesterday, but I feel like people really need to have an understanding of how you talk to evil spirits, or how that works. I'm not here to tell you to talk to evil spirits. That's the last thing you want to do. But a lot of people don't realize that, so we are constantly in connection with the infinite universe. And as oneness with all, literally all of the physical universe, all of the spiritual universe, everything, all souls in existence, from super lovingest to greatest nightmare, we're all in oneness with each other, connected, 100% connected. So even though you're in a dense physical form and you feel like you are an individual, that is the consciousness of your humanness. You are not an individual. You are in oneness with the infinite universe. And in oneness, you have the choice of who you want to interact with, which is why being human is so awesome. Because you have the ego, you have the separation identity, like you have the individuality experience. And so you can be influenced to think that talking to spirits who convince you of certain things are good for you. Like, that's part of your brain talking to you. That's not a spirit talking to you. That's your brain. Human beings don't realize that they're constantly interacting with the spirit world and interacting with the infinite oneness, and that half the things that come into their mind aren't actually brain thoughts, but they are channeled wisdom. And wisdom has forms of all different levels. Wisdom is found in hatred and nightmares of the universe. Wisdom is found in unconditional love and creation and rebirth and all that stuff. And wisdom exists everywhere, in all subject matters, in all things. In all the emotional spectrums is there wisdom. Even in lying is there wisdom. So that's why every YouTube video is actually an expression of wisdom. You would tell me that's absurd. I've seen some of these YouTube videos. They are not expressions of wisdom. You just have to ask yourself, what is the value of the wisdom? What is the value? If the value of the wisdom is not enhancing your perception of the universe, is not making you feel awesomer about life, then the value of the wisdom is not real valuable. It is not real awesome, you know. You want to find the wisdom that inspires you to love more. That is the highest value, that is the best value you can possibly find. You go to Walmart, what do you want? You ask yourself, which value do I want? You can choose the value to be monetary, or you could choose the value to be organic versus not organic. I mean, it is your choice. These are all forms of wisdom as well, you see? And so, darker entities are also forms of wisdom. And you got to decide if you want to be a dark entity too, or if you want to be a loving entity. If you want to be a loving entity, then the value and the wisdom you're searching for comes from benevolence, comes from love, unconditional love. If you want to be a spiteful, dark, hateful person, then the value of wisdom you're looking for is going to come from the ego and the monsters that are influential and love to help your ego feel connected with the value and wisdom of hatred. You have to ask yourself, what is it? Who do you want to be? What is the expression you want to be? So this is how you have a relationship with what is evil spirit or what is benevolent spirit. See? Evil spirit, benevolent spirit. You see how I'm showing you that there is no emotional reaction that you need to have in relationship with what is either benevolence or hatred or whatever spirit you're interacting with. You do not have to have an emotional reaction. You just choose what wisdom you want. Do you want the wisdom that is going to hurt others, or do you want the wisdom that is going to help others? And then that is what you choose, and that is perfectly fine. So I made, a video to talk about the devil and my relationship with the image and what I've been through to get to a point where I have no relationship with that. That is only me choosing to explore who it is I want to be. What is the wisdom I choose to connect with? That is all. That is all it is. And so yesterday there was a comment that was made, which you can go read it, and I was actually quite I get excited about all comments that I receive, because it is an opportunity for me to get to hear the infinite universe through others, through everybody. And so I get to hear the wisdom and the value that everybody has to share, and I have no sort of judgment or feelings of like, if you don't like what I have to share, I'm okay with that. If you like what I have to share, then I'm really glad that I shared it and that I could inspire some goodness in this world, But for some reason, this comment was so important, is so valuable to me, because it helped me to see what I actually got to explore, another energy field, and to see what existed there. And I do not mean to showcase or whatever, but this is a learning opportunity for us all, and we're all human beings, and so as human beings we have to love each other, and we have to choose which human beings do we relate to, which human beings do we not. It's just like spirits. Which spirits do we relate to, which spirits do we not relate to? And so you hear what is the ego, you hear what is the energy, you hear what is the relationship with the infinite awareness. See, when you interact with people, you can hear through the way they communicate what is the value, what is their connection with the infinite universe, what is their soul, what is their expression. So the crystal ball experience, now I'm going to get into this because it was quite awesome yesterday. All these it was like Bing moments all afternoon about awareness. So we try to understand what a demon looks like, and we see ugly, evil, sort of half goat, half man, or whatever you want it to be, or something scary or creepy or whatever it is. So we try to, our humanness tries to make sense of what a demon is, and what is evil, what is an evil spirit itself. And I always sort of, it's my relationship with what is an evil spirit has always just sort of been energies that were born from the vibration of hatred, that were born from the vibration of fear, born from souls that were born from the gift of hatred, born from the gift of destruction, born from, these are creative energies too. Hatred is a creative energy, destruction is a creative energy. You don't see them as that way, but these energies birth their own souls. And so, from the birth of destructive energy, which is a life force of and a reflection of love, believe it or not, then comes energies that are very reflective of that. And now I've been able to sort of go beyond, because of crystal ball interaction, and actually, and because of this beautiful comment that was made, I actually was able to perceive that what is the entities that inspire us to connect with certain vibrations of wisdom that are hurtful or angry or hateful. Now all of a sudden, evil spirits literally are the ego. They are reflections of the ego. They are reflections of whatever is, what is your sensitivities, what is your, the sensitivity that you are, what hurts your feelings? This is me just asking what hurts your feelings. I think we all want to be accepted, and we all want to feel loved. So when we don't feel accepted and we don't feel loved, then that does create a sensation of, like why don't you love me, or why don't you accept me? So that can hurt our feelings. So that is an evil spirit using the ego to try to affect you in a negative way, to bring you down and hurt and damage you. The ego loves putting people in vulnerable places. It loves it. Ego spirits like this, in spirits of this kind, love to create pain and suffering in others, and then manipulate you into thinking that you are stronger and wiser and better because you know how to hurt other people's feelings. That is not, that is only value, and that is wisdom as well. Everything that we share is an expression of wisdom, but you have to ask yourself, what is the value of the wisdom? And is that value in oneness with the value I am, the value I share? And if it's not, then just let it go. It is okay. It is okay. Every human being on this planet is dealing with their own experience of literally suffering, and their own ability to know how to tolerate it, and it's not easy. And so I didn't want to make, I had other odd things, 2 other odd things come to me yesterday, so we'll just tell you them. But first I'm going to take a drink of coffee. Okay, Spirit World says, why are you making this video, Abby? And so whenever they say that, then I have to say, I'm making it to share something that I discovered. What is the issue with my video? They're reminding me that love is the most important message that I could share. The messages about anything lesser than love are still reflections of the ego, still reflections of the lesser value that I'm talking about. And so the wisdom of this video is still in a relationship with the lesser value, because it is talking about the lesser value itself. So when we talk about the devil, when we see images of it, get all wound up about it, get wrapped up in it, in the reflection of the devil, now suddenly the value of our thoughts and the value of our energy field and the value of everything now suddenly gets intertwined with what isn't the actual value or meaning that we're looking for. We're actually looking for love. So why is it that we get so spend so much of our time intertwining with what isn't love? You know what I mean? And so they're telling me this, and so I'm asking them, is this, should I share this video or not? Which I am open-minded to not sharing it. If that is, they're saying, you saw wisdom yesterday, and you thought about wisdom all day yesterday, and you contemplated what it meant to you and what was its value and what you would do with it. And this morning you chose to want to share, to inspire a greater awareness in others. And so that is the love that you share. It is only important that you tell human beings that they have to ask themselves where it is they choose to receive value, and where they choose to see love, and what they choose to embrace. And it makes me think a lot about so I did a Cryon, I have a video about Cryon, and I channeled Cryon. It was super, extremely awesome experience, and extremely weird. And I talk about what the experience of channeling Cryon was like, and I was quite, his soul's really, like, I have so much respect, and so much reverence, and so much love, and I have so much, thankfulness, gratitude for his soul. His soul is a super beautiful, super amazing, super extraordinary soul in existence. Cryon's soul is. And I was really sort of disturbed to find that human beings had developed a website to actually try to overthrow, try to help people see that he's the devil, he is a demon, all of this. It was like, why, in my mind, I thought, why are you wasting your time? Why are you wasting your time trying to help human beings see hatred and see a reason to not value what is actually very loving? And why don't you just let human beings make up their own minds? Why do you have to make up their minds for them? Why are you spending all your time trying to make up everybody else's mind? I don't understand that. Either you like something or you don't. And then if you don't like it, then just move on to the next thing. And so So you have to ask yourself, what is the value of what I am exploring? And the spirit world says that for us to contemplate the infinite awareness, what is exploring all of it, from the darkest, from the deepest, darkest places to the brightest, through all the colors, through all of the awareness, through all of it. They say that that is a very good thing to do. Just make sure that you are choosing to be aware of what is your expression, who do you want to be, how do you wish to use your thoughts. And the more you choose to use your thoughts on love and healing, the more they're saying that, okay, they're saying the reason I had this odd awareness was because I looked into the crystal ball, and what I saw was reflections of myself and my experiences, which have been very tormenting and very dark and very horrible. And so through that interaction, the crystal ball itself showed me greater awareness of what I couldn't see with my human eyes. The crystal ball actually showed me what I could see in my soul with my soul eye, which is my third eye, is the home of where my soul resides, and my soul sees the infinite awareness. And they said that I saw far more in that crystal ball than my brain was ever able to process. And some of those tiny pieces were this awareness about evil, sort of the darker entities, of which now I have such an infinite awareness beyond what I was able to perceive before, that I actually realized that I could help human beings because I myself have endured so much with the darkness and darker entities and all of that. I myself have learned how love is the most strongest and deflective energy, and dark spirits, evil spirits, the ego that is hatred. If you stand in front of somebody who is so hateful and spiteful, and all you do is say I love you over and over again, all they're going to do is get madder and madder and madder for absolutely no reason, and all you're doing is just saying I love you, I love you. Finally they just give up, and then finally they feel in their heart that it's like, I don't know why, but hearing I love you over and over again was really nice. It was really nice to hear that. And suddenly love becomes the stronger force. And I had this sort of thing come to me, and that you could have two human egos battling each other, and what will you get out of it? All you'll get is two human egos. If you have one human ego and one human that says I love, now what do you get out of it? You get, human ego cannot fight, cannot hurt cannot harm I love. I love now is the stronger force over I hate. And I love then, you know, is paper, and I hate is rock, and then paper covers rock. See how that works? So if you have two human egos, they battle, and nothing changes. You have a human ego and you have love, and now all of a sudden love is the conquering force. Love actually heals all wounds, and those human beings who are inspired to hate actually need to feel love in their heart. They need your hands to hold their heart like my hands held the crystal ball, and warm the heart with love. And so whenever you interact with another human being who doesn't, that actually is their heart and their being and their everything actually saying, please love me, but they don't know how to get the words out because they're so manipulated by the lower and the ego and the darker entities that the power of hatred seems and feels so much stronger than the power of love. And the power of love is so bright and so blinding. You can go into a cave full of bats, and it's so dark in there, but then when you shine the light, now all of a sudden you can see anything, you can see everything, and then the bats come flying out, and now all of a sudden you've cleared out a cave. You know what I mean? All it takes is the light. That's all it takes. And the light shines and clears out and cleans out everything. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. And so I had this sort of self-discovery that I actually can help human beings who are struggling with these connections, because I have this ability to see or understand at a higher level of what is actually existing there, or what is actually going on. And the greatest defense against it is love. That is what it is. It's like when you want to talk about an exorcism and you have a Bible and you have the Spirit of Jesus and you have all of this and angels and everything behind you, those are reflections of love. And evil can't digest. It freaks it out. It makes it angrier, and it can't tolerate love. And so eventually it has to push itself away. It has to. Evil spirits just can't tolerate love. It doesn't mesh well with the ego of their identity. It doesn't. They are a reflection of one little sliver of the ego. And there's so many slivers of ego that are connected with fears and the lesser values, you know, the values that don't inspire us to love more. And it's quite interesting, but you can ask yourself, well, what about alien beings? Don't they ever get possessed by the devil? You know, that's freaking hilarious. Because no. The answer is no. You have and some alien beings are are going through similar explorations as us human beings on this planet. And so then yes, in that case, yes. But you have alien beings who are at expanded awareness and do not have the relationship with the ego like we do. And in those scenarios, because they have no relationship with the ego, they do not relate. They do not relate with the lower. They do not relate with those entities. They do not relate with those energies. So no, that wouldn't make sense for them to get possessed by them, because they aren't calling for them to possess them. They don't want them. They don't have a relationship with them. It doesn't mean that they aren't still in oneness. Alien beings are always in oneness. And so they're telling me, Spirit World is telling me that a lot of universe, spirit world, alien beings, I just call it spirit world because I don't know how to identify all the freaking voices that come to me, or the energies, or the information. I can't tell you where it all comes from. It comes from stars, it comes from planets, it comes from spirits, it comes from aliens, it comes from everywhere. It comes from the infinite awareness is where it comes from. And so they're showing me how, so I talk about creation, about how souls are born, and souls are born from all different aspects of creation. And creation is, there is sort of unconditional love that creates souls. There is spiritual healing, healing energy that creates souls. There are colors that birth souls, and all the different, there's infinite, we're talking about infinite. There's hatred, there's destruction, there's all these different aspects that create souls, and all these different aspects also take part in creating, manifesting in the physical existence. So then you have entities that are, their natural instinctive nature is extremely reflective of what is their soul parent, their energetic parent. And so if the energetic parent is about destruction, then their nature, their instinctive nature is also going to be of that similar value. So you want to talk about beings, alien beings that seem so evil because they hurt and harm other human beings. Well, that is their instinctive nature. They were born from an energy that that was the nature. That was part of their birthright in the physical realm through their parent energy. How can we hate that? You have to actually love and feel blessed that the universe and creation of all the energies creates this stuff. You have to, because it is these entities, these energies, it is all this stuff as combined as one that creates the learning and the expansion and the awareness and the profoundness and everything. When you're a young soul and you're tiny in a grand universe, it's harder to digest or make sense of or not feel terrified by all of this. When you're an older soul and you actually can be non-judgmental and open-minded and feel like more connected with the infinite awareness, now all of a sudden you get it, you understand it, and you have maybe you don't like thinking about it or whatever it might be, but you don't hate it, you don't reject it, you don't anything. You just say, you know what, I'm glad that I am exploring this wisdom right now, and I don't disagree with it. I don't want to interact with lesser value or whatever you want to. I call it lesser value because guess what? My soul finds the greater value in unconditional love. If your soul finds a greater value in hatred and destruction, then the greatest value is in hatred and destruction. So it is lesser value to me because I want love, I want to share love, I want human beings to love, I want love to be the teacher for all of us. Love of the unconditional kind, a love of the highest vibration. Not love that is the hatred and the teacher that is suffering, They're all teachers, they're all master teachers. So, alright, so let me see, there was one other thing that I saw, two other things that I saw. Okay, one of them was, I was watching Wolverine last night, and it's the Wolverine movie where, he goes to Japan and he loses his, immortality sort of ability, and then almost dies at the end. Well, they have this Viper woman in the movie, and she's like this extraordinarily beautiful, like super beautiful woman, and she's so beautiful in comparison to all the other sort of characters. It is like I was thinking about this as I'm watching this movie, like what her genetics and how there's such a variety of creations on this planet. There's so many different hair colors, there's so many different skin types, there's so many different colors of eyes. There's alien beings that are all just blonde and white, and that's it. Caucasian. There are alien beings that are just like African Americans. There are alien beings that are just Asian. But we have all of these. We're like just a stew pot of all of these different expressions, different races of human beings on one planet. You know what I mean? And then you get to see this big stew pot in this movie of all these different races of human beings, and it's extraordinary. And it was the little beep of information came in, and I saw what was human beings. Our physical identity is literally our wardrobe. Our soul chooses a wardrobe, and then it becomes the wardrobe. This is the wardrobe my soul chose. This hair, these eyes, all of this is the wardrobe my soul chose. And so you don't judge based on the wardrobe that the soul chooses. You love based on the wardrobe the soul chooses, whatever the wardrobe may be. But you see what is actually inside the wardrobe. What is actually inside that mysterious box? Every human being is a mysterious box. That is so awesome. You have to see what is inside the mystery box. And that is the soul. That is so cool. So that was one other thing I saw, and I obviously was thinking about genetics and and all the different races, and how is it that there are this many different races? If we all came from one type of ape or whatever, then how is that ape transform into all these different races? I get it that there's, you know, Africa where it's hot, and I guess black skin, and, you know, that sort of race would make sense in a place where it's very hot, and white skin wouldn't do too well down there, you know. But I'm just constantly thinking about mankind and how mankind has so many different varieties all over the planet. And I mean, how long does it take for an ape to turn into a human being? You know, I don't really understand. I'm not 100% convinced on the. I don't know how to answer this question just yet. I have too many thoughts about it, and I don't have enough solidity to talk about what I feel is taking place on this planet. But it definitely involves alien beings, and it involves more than what we think we know. And it's quite, I think about this a lot too. I know I'm talking about like evil spirits, but I'm just going to take aside like an intermission to talk about this. But this is really funny. So you have cats, you know, like a house cat. You have a little tiny house cat, and they're cute. And then you have a much larger cat, which is like a lion. And they're like super big cats. And then you have an alien species that is entirely like what is a human being, but with fur and ears, and like upright cats, like thunder cats. It's like, so you're telling me then there's alien beings that look like the thunder cats, and then these alien beings can actually see little house cats and be like, they imagine being a cat alien and then having a house cat. That's so funny. But just think though, we are human beings. There has to be many versions of us, you know. People call them fairies and dwarves and stuff like that, but nobody ever sees them. Imagine being a human being and having like a little human being as your like house pet. It's just so funny. I don't know, I was just thinking about that. That wasn't the crystal ball, that was just me. But I was, so yesterday, as I was in these contemplations about existence and, you know, about the value and the wisdom and the connection with different entities in the universe, and see, I like have this like super motivation to help all human beings, whatever that may be, and human beings that actually, they need you to share love with their heart, to warm their heart, and that warmth sort of radiates, and then it also, it isn't digestible. Ego and hatred and all that can't digest love for very long. Like, they just can't do it. So whenever I've had, you know, visitors knocking on my door, and they're not very nice ones, I immediately, it jolts you in the middle of the night when they're there, because you're like, what the fuck, you know, like, you know, what is this? It's my coffee pot beeping. I guess it's time for me to end this video. Maybe that's like an alarm clock, but, but then I immediately put up the shield, which is, you know, thank you for visiting me. I know who you are. Thank you for visiting me. I love you for this. And then they're just sort of like, love, gross, I don't like it. And then they can't tolerate it, you know? And so you have to immediately put on that sort of, so Spirit World tells me that it is very easy to release yourself of lesser vibrations. It is easy because you choose you make a gesture of love, and that is how you release them. You make a gesture of love, and then you release them. So this is a complex conversation, because I've seen human beings who have possessive evil spirits, and they actually I've made it clear, and they actually have a relationship with whatever the entity is, and they don't feel a relationship with needing to release themselves from any lesser vibrations. That is how convincing evil spirits are. They're that convincing that they make you feel like what they give is love, when what they give is not helping you connect with unconditional love. They don't want you to have that. They want to have control over you. They want to have control over your mind and your thoughts and your relationships. they want to have control over that. They want to feed you what they have to give you, and they want to keep you, and they have this possessive nature to them. And the possession is actually you wanting them to be there, or even you not, you thinking that you're benefiting from them, and you're not. They're not helping you at all. You can tell if you have sort of like a relationship with an energy or a spirit that is not inspiring you to connect with others, inspiring you to love more, inspiring. And I myself, who has walked the dark pathway, even I myself am constantly exploring every single dimension of my atmosphere. Human beings don't realize that we have extraordinary dimensions of space. That is an entire universe, and so I explore all of my universe, and I try to find any sort of hiding entities in there, because I have to be extremely full of light. I have to find every dark cave full of bats, and I have to fill it with light, and I have to heal everything. The painful memories are pockets, and they have to get healed with light, and they have to get healed with love, and they have to get healed with nurturing and affection and all that stuff. And they have to. And that is how you release yourself of all of this stuff. So every day, human beings, you and I, just live in our day-to-day life. If we start getting bogged down and feeling all bummed out or just frustrated or whatever, the hardest thing you could possibly do is do this. And they say, I love you today. You're like, ugh, I'm mad. I don't want anybody to hug me or love me. I hate everything, you know? That is a very good sign that you need to do this, whatever it takes. And if it's hard, just try and get the voice out and say, angels of light, help me. Help disconnect any lesser vibrations. I want to feel love. I don't want to feel this way. And you'll start to notice, it's odd, the sensation, but you'll start to notice that it's sort of like things are just flying away, and then all the lower, lesser vibrations are just flying away, and you start to feel like I'm growing, like I'm bigger now, and I'm happier now, and I feel better now. You see what the lesser value is heavier and weighs us down and makes us feel really just can't tolerate life. Not good at all. The higher angelic light and love and all that stuff makes us feel lighter and airier and happier and bouncier, want to dance, want to be playful, want to have fun, want to enjoy life. So you can tell the difference this way. So let me see here. This is like a super long video. There's one thing I saw that I haven't talked about. I'm trying to decide if I will talk about it, because it wasn't, okay, so let me see. They're showing me the eagle eye. What is a visual image of a perception, higher perception of sight, what I saw. But a choice to not relate or connect with what I saw, because it is a choice that it is a different expression than what I am and what I choose to be and what I choose to surround myself with. And so that also happened last night. What was a lizard being that came to visit me, and he was wearing what was a cloak and a hat, you know, so like this. And he was quite obvious to me right here. I could see him, and it wasn't like it was sort of like me sort of like I see you, but I don't want a relationship with you. And so in that moment I chose to focus my attention on Avery, the human alien, because he is the greatest reflection of super love, so loving I can't even tolerate his energy levels, but it's a love of a kind that is just I don't know how to describe what that love feels like. It is very hard for a human being to digest it, because it is very, very overwhelming. Like, what I can do is be happy and loud and excited, is like super like, that's too much energy for my head, is what Avery's kind of like calms me and relaxes me down, so I'm not overwhelming. But yet he has this super love energy that I'm just like, you're freaking me out, stop it. And then I like try to push him away, but then he just pushes more love into me, and I don't know if that is part of an ego, that is part of a lesser value that I have an attachment to that I'm not aware of, that can't tolerate or digest Avery's love energy. So I have to find out about this. They say, okay, so Spirit World says that I have no bats in the cave. They say I'm like superior white, bright light. But it is my connection with memories that have created sort of what is a stomach that has digested too much acid, and so there's lots of pockets in me, and those pockets need sewn and sort of, but they not sewn or stitched in that sort of way of like what is a torturous hospital visit, but what is like rubbing like a nurturing oil of love, and then allowing the oil of love to seal the wound and heal it, soothe it, heal it with love. All human beings have these wounds, and all human beings, when we choose to see and love each other, heal each other's wounds. And they say that I've been massively exploring my energy field, massively exploring my own universe, like a spaceship traveling at light speed everywhere in my own universe. We don't see that we actually are an expansive universe. We just see that we're a human being of this size and shape. But actually, in the secret box, and around it and everything, is in a universe of its own kind. And in that universe is stored all of the memories of the soul, all of the expanded awareness, all of the ancientness, all of the everything. And in that is also the memories of your current lifetime and your consciousness and everything. And so when I go explore my consciousness and explore my infinite soul and explore all of these places, I'm looking for areas that need attention. And they're saying that they're helping me to see, and this is good for us all, there are unique experiences that human beings' souls choose to have, where they want to explore relationship with what is an element of the ego. And the ego, that it could be of all different sort of various types. So in that exploration, they actually create a magnet that attracts that specific entity to explore and help them explore the relationship. So most of these relationships, the sole choice was to experience this and then have no awareness of its existence. There are human beings who actually have very sort of disturbing sexual hunger, where it is sort of this is a relationship with what is an aspect of the ego, and a soul that is helping human beings explore a sexuality that is sort of degrading or disturbing, and finding arousal in that. Palladian beings do not find arousal in what is... You can tell a difference between what feels like unconditional love and what feels sort of degrading or disturbing or whatever. And you just decide, is that me? No, it's not me in this lifetime. I don't want to have sex with animals in this lifetime. It is every human being. Every soul is having an exploration, and I'm not saying that human beings who are exploring those types of sexual experience have a sort of entity that is inspiring it. There's so many infinite meanings behind the choices that we all make, and not to be judgmental against anybody, not to. Actually, to love and be supportive of the experience, or choose to, say it's not me or whatever it is, and move on to the next thing. That is literally how you have to have relationships with people's choices in this world. And then so many freaking things. So I've seen possessive evil spirits. Some human beings have them. Some human beings are aware of them and are terrified of what they see every night, and they don't know how to escape it, and they need help. So in those cases, you have to choose to face your fear. You have to choose to say, I am courageous. I am an infinite spirit of light, and there's nothing I choose. I choose my pathway. I choose what it is that I want. I choose to either accept the nightmare I choose and be fearful of it, or I choose to stand up against it and say, no, thank you. I don't want this relationship anymore. I thank you very much for all the terror and the fear and the blessing of the nightmare that you've given to me. This has been a really wonderful learning experience, but I actually choose love now, and you are not expressions of love. Oh my God, you're going to see those spirits get all freaked out, like, she's talking to me about love, and they'll freak out and they'll run away. And then you have to tell yourself, angels of light, come and embrace me. And they will. They seriously will do this. And they will protect you. They will help you. They will help you. They don't want you to be in this. If you choose to be in a nightmare and be terrified of it, that is what you get. If you choose for angel beings to come and protect you from the nightmare and give you strength and courage to face your fears, they will help you with this. Angels will help you with this every single time. And so, there's like so many things going on. The only message that is the most important message is love. Choose love. Just choose love every time. If that is who you are, choose love. If you interact with people who choose the ego and choose to put you down or choose hatred or whatever, just say, I love you. Say I love you in return, or just say it's not me, and thanks for the interaction, but I really want to feel what love feels like, and that's not what love feels like to me. So I want to gravitate towards where love exists. And then that's that. There's nothing wrong with wanting love. There's nothing wrong with choosing love for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with, if you want to choose to be a spiteful, hateful person, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want that. I just don't. Thanks anyway. I'll see you later, whatever. These are just interactions. There's a devil. Do you want the devil? There's benevolent alien beings. There's benevolent spiritual beings. Just, who do you want? Who do you want in your life? You say, I want benevolence. I don't want destruction. I'm sorry, not me. And then you just gravitate toward it. I don't know. I had this weird day yesterday in the crystal ball, and then I was seeing, understanding evil spirits and greater awareness, and I felt inspired to make a video to talk about this stuff, to talk about it, because there's so much need to be aware of what is an evil spirit, what is the relationship with it, why don't go there. Okay, I'm gonna ask the spirit world, because it's a freaking long video and I don't like making really long videos. So spirit world says, be proud of everything that you've accomplished up to this point. And you are choosing, so they're telling me, you're choosing to share wisdom with others, and you have to allow yourself to let human beings choose how they want to relate to what you say. And then again, it is like what you talk about. You either choose to allow yourself to feel what they share and let it hurt you, or let it empower you. And then if you don't want to get hurt from it, then you just you just choose what it is you want. You want empowerment, or you don't. And this is how you need to interact with the spirit world. You choose either to surround yourself with spirits that empower you, or spirits that don't. It is awareness that is the hardest thing to have, they say. Hardest thing to have is awareness. And the reason why human beings are exploring YouTube videos is because they want awareness. They want awareness from many different reflections. They're just trying to find answers, just like you are, just like everybody. We're all trying to find answers, especially right now in this pinnacle moment in human history, and everybody hears about human awakening and alien visitors and all this stuff. People want to know more about that. And as much as it is always good to explore the way you feel about the information that you're hearing, and explore how it connects with you, how you connect with it, what it means to you, and ask yourself, what does it inspire out of me? Does it inspire love out of me? Does it not inspire love out of me? If it inspires me to feel fear, then either choose to continue to explore your fears, or choose to find something that inspires you to love. It is your choice. You get to choose whatever you want. So anyway, this is my video. That's all. I'm done. I'm not sharing any more on this conversation. I'm done. Okay. Yeah, that's it. All right. Thank you for watching.